Now, Michael Jackson's sister, Toya, is on her way to see Bubbles for an emotional reunion.
I would love to know if Bubbles still remembers me, because it's been about 20-something years now. I wish they were small, that they never grew, but of course they have to grow. That's part of life.
Michael Jackson always loved animals. In fact, the whole Jackson family did. His sister Toya spent many years living in the bedroom down the hall in their family home.
My father loved dogs. We had a dog named Frisky. We had so many pets growing up, dogs, and my father loved cats, and just so many different animals around the house. And it's so funny because he had this love for animals, and my mother didn't care for it at all.
And surrounded himself with pets.
He had hamsters, and he had rats, and he had lizards, and everything you could think of. He had it. He had quite a few rats. I think his first one, I recall it being a little white mouse that he had. He would pull it out of his pocket, and I would scream every single time. It's like, oh, what are you doing without the restaurant? Michael had boa constrictors and pythons, and we connected with them. We had a love for them, and my mother would say, you know, you can't be that friendly with them because you never know what the animals are going to do, which in fact she was right, because sometimes the snakes, you know, if we leave them out too long, a parrot's missing.
Today, the Jacksons travel first class. Fame makes them vulnerable. On the road, theirs is a life of back doors and security guards, quick entries and exits.
Ironically, at this time, Jackson described himself as being one of the loneliest people in the world.
I'm most comfortable on stage than any place in the world. Being around, you know, everyday people and stuff, I feel strange. I do.
Shy?
Yeah.
Michael is quiet now. When he was younger, he wasn't that quiet. But I don't know, I think the stage might have done that to him. Because wherever he go, everybody's coming out to see Michael Jackson, you know, want to look at him and see what he looks like. And he said he feels like an animal in a cage.
Everybody wanted to be Michael Jackson's friend. Who wouldn't? And he just started to not trust people. He just started to think that everybody had a hidden agenda because, generally speaking, most people did.
You begin to think, well, who is my friend? Are you here because I'm this big? Or are you here because you like my personality, me for what I am? So you kind of wonder, and you turn more so to animals even more because they don't know that. They love you for who you are. They're not asking for anything, just love, just simple love.
By now, rats, snakes, and exotic birds weren't enough. Jackson wanted a pet he could have a conversation with.
He asked doctors, can I give it an operation? Can I give him vocal cords? Because I want to know what his thoughts are, what he's really saying.
Became part of the Jackson family and was even referred to as Michael's child.
Michael would dress him in Oshkosh Bagosh and all the different little designer clothes and things of that nature. He had his own nanny, and he was just the sweetest, politest thing that you could possibly ever imagine. Bubbles became a human. He became one of us.
He had such a great personality, and you could communicate with him, and you could talk to him, and he would nod. He knew what you were talking about. He would follow you everywhere. He was just like a little kid.
Now that Bubbles was part of the Jackson family, he was expected to do all the things they did.
All the cooks in the house love Bubbles. Bubbles, you can stir the food. Mother goes, don't you dare let him do this. I don't want him preparing food for me. Bubbles ate at the family table, and he ate just like we did, with a knife and fork. He has to have Tabasco in his food, and then he starts to eat it. And it was the cutest thing. He knew what he wanted. He would open up the refrigerator and the freezer, go and get the Haagen-Dazs, get a spoon, sit down, and start eating Haagen-Dazs. It was always the cutest thing. And when he's done, he just gets up and walks away.
Even 25 years ago, keeping chimps as pets was controversial. But Bubbles seemed to fill a deep need in Jackson to give and receive love. Carol Jamie is an author and expert on the emotional relationships developed between humans and apes.
It's like getting close to an emotionally intelligent human being who's just not able to talk to you. They're so like us. You know, they have hands, they can hold on to you. They are almost human. So having a relationship with a chimp would have been his most special relationship with any animal.
Jackson and Bubbles became inseparable.
When it was bed, Bubbles, go put on your pajamas and go to bed. And Bubbles would go in the drawer, take his pajamas out, put them on, and then he would say your prayers. And he would get on his knees and say his prayer. And he would say, now get in the bed and go to bed. And then he'd jump in the bed, put the covers over him, and go to sleep.
An infant chimp would sleep in the mother's nest with the mother. Well, your bed is your nest when you're human. So Michael was intuitively doing what was right for Bubbles. Michael would have become a surrogate mother. He would have been getting a lot of love in return, and here was a creature who craved love and affection. He would have been able to form a very meaningful, intense, physical relationship with Bubbles.
One morning, Michael called me. He goes, you gotta see this, you gotta see this. He mimics everything I do. I go, what do you mean? He goes, watch. So Michael's in the room and he's brushing his teeth, and Bubbles looks up and he gets a toothbrush and he starts brushing his teeth. And this is the cutest part. Michael starts combing his hair, then Bubbles combs his hair, but he combs his arm. He's just combing his arm. I go, Michael, it's not even his head. He's combing his arm. He realized that's hair there too.
When you cuddle a human toddler, you get a lot of warmth and affection and love. But when you cuddle a chimp, you get more in a way, because they hang on to you. They really squeeze you back. You get a damn good hug from a chimp. And I think is perhaps the kind of strength of hug he would have liked from his father. Maybe he got that from a chimp.
It didn't take long, though, before Jackson wanted even more from Bubbles. He was desperate for proper two-way communication.
All right, good. Now talk. No, talk. No, talk.
I often saw Michael making chimp noises, and Bubbles would make chimp noises in return. And that was kind of a thrill, because you knew that there was something going on there. You know, that there was actually a communication going on there between an animal lover and his pet. Michael and Bubbles, you know, have a conversation.
But as ever, Jackson took things to the extreme. He began to study human and chimp anatomy.
He had a real brain come to the house, and he had in a jar. It's a real human brain. Where'd you get that from? Who gave you? He goes, shh, don't tell Mother.
Inside nearly every step of the way.
Bubbles traveled private a lot. He wanted him to fly, so he put him on a plane, first class ticket. Yes, absolutely. Wherever he could take him and get away with it, he would. Wherever he was accepted, then Bubbles was there.
On tour, Bubbles was cared for by Hollywood animal trainer Bob Dunn.
He's traveled all over the world. Do you have any difficulty getting him in and out of countries?
We have to pull a lot of permits, but we do it. He loves traveling.
Quarantine laws stopped Bubbles from ever visiting Britain. But Japan welcomed him with open arms.
Monkeys and apes have a very high status. Japanese culture is all about the wisdom of the ape and the monkey. They would have wanted to see him with Bubbles. Bubbles would have had fans in Japan.
Bubbles went on tour with Michael. I just say Michael went on tour with Bubbles. Because Bubbles is the one who got all the attention. All the attention. Bubbles, at one point, became extremely strong, so he wasn't this little baby that would slap you and can get away with it. They were powerful slaps. They could knock you out. Sometimes he would slap and everything would fly off the table. Yes, and then he'd grab the chandelier and jump and swing on it, and then jump on the next table. He goes, Bubbles, no, no, no.
Now nearly 4 and almost an adult chimpanzee, Bubbles was committing the unforgivable sin of growing up.
Bubbles, sit still.
There was only so much the trainers could do.
Now he's pouting, just like a kid. When they grow up and they become an adult, and they're very strong, 170 pounds, 3 times the strength of their weight, it's very hard to have to retire them because you get so attached to them. It's like telling your kid to go away.
The trainers came to the house and saw what we had, and they were highly disturbed with Bubbles, the way we treated him. They felt that this was not normal. You don't treat a chimpanzee this way. This is unheard of. They're not humans. He shouldn't be in the house.
But during the filming of this program, Toya asked to visit Bubbles in Florida, and Patty agreed.
I often think about Bubbles, and I think it would be my dream to see him and wonder if he would recognize me or even know me, and just see how big he's gotten, or what he's doing, what his personality is like, the difference in what it was then and now.
It's been more than 20 years since Toya has seen Bubbles. And so soon after her brother's death, the visit may be a way to help her find closure.
And I haven't been nervous about it, but I can't wait to take pictures with him.
After traveling 3,000 miles, Toya and her entourage arrive at the Center for Great Apes.
Hello, how are you? I'm Patty. You must be Patty. How are you?
But before she finally meets Bubbles, she is warned it might not be the affectionate reunion she expects.
Bubbles has a unique feature. He will get a mouthful of water sometimes, and he'll spit it at people that are new, that are visiting. Yes, so you might get a little shower from Bubbles.
Where did he adopt that from? Because he didn't do that before.
Well, he was a baby then, and I think that is one way he can get a reaction, and that's the most interesting thing, because generally people will yell and jump back or laugh, and of course that just seals the deal. If he does that, the best thing to do is just kind of turn away and not
Don't make a big deal out of it.
Don't make a big deal of it.
Okay.
And you'll step
Is it very forceful?
No, it's just a
little bit.
Yeah, just a
okay,
little
good.
bit. So
I'm glad you told me that.
Yeah, so
I can't wait to see him.
This is Striker.
Hi, Striker. Bubbles used to have that energy.
Well, he's 5 years old.
He's 5?
Yeah, so he's about the same age probably.
Yes, when I saw
the
him
last time you saw Bubbles.
and that's the size.
And here is Bubbles.
Oh my.
And I think we'll
Hi, Bubbles. What are you hiding in your mouth? Hi, Bubbles. Hi. Oh.
So,
look at. Is
you want to come
there?
a little bit? Yeah, you can come closer.
Is something in its mouth?
Let's see. Have you got some water? How you doing, sweetie? What's in your mouth? You swallow that?
Oh, look at. He looks incredible.
Isn't he beautiful?
He looks incredible. Bubbles, hi. Do you remember me? Bubbles? Hi, Bubbles. Look at him.
Isn't he a cutie?
Bubbles. Bubbles.
Look who's
Bubbles,
here.
hi. I want to touch him.
He might be spitting. I think he is going to spit. It's all right.
He's getting ready to do it, yes?
Can you show me what's in your mouth?
Bubbles, what's in your mouth?
You want some
Bubbles,
grapes?
open your
You want
mouth.
some more grapes? Open your mouth.
He wants to put water on me. Okay, I think he swallowed it.
Yes, I think he did too. Open. One thing that Bubbles really likes to do is play in the hose. Do you want a drink? He likes the water.
He likes, can I put it on him?
Yes, you can.
Here? Some water?
Latoya,
Yes, Bubbles.
Did he play in the hose and in bathtubs and water?
Yes, he did.
He did?
Yes, and he would take showers actually, because he had his own nanny. Oh, he has the same face, his eyes, the look that he gives you. When I look at Bubbles, I still see the features of when he was extremely young, and that looks the same to me. And I see the gray around his mouth.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. I think he kind of remembers me, guys. I think he's being shy with it.
Oh, I think he definitely remembers you, Latoya.
Yes. See, he didn't spit on me.
He didn't spit on you, yes. Thanks. It was very nice to have you visit us, and he definitely recognized you, definitely remembered you.
If you don't mind, I just want to say a couple of words to Bubbles alone.
That's great.
Okay.
You can go
It's
around
okay,
there.
yeah?
Just, stay back. Okay.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bubbles?
Bubbles? Yes, hi, Bubbles. Hi, Bubbles. You know I miss you. I haven't seen you in ages, Bubbles. Do you remember me? Bubbles? Do you remember me, Bubbles? You're looking like you do. Do you, Bubbles? Oh, I want to kiss you, I want to hug you, and I know I can't because you're so big. I know. I think you remember me, don't you? Yes, you do. Bubbles. Bubbles. I know. You know, don't you, Bubbles? Bye-bye, Bubbles. Bye-bye.
All the family members loved Bubbles, not just Michael. He was just a great pet. He really loved that little chimp.
I'm sure that Michael loved him very much, and I think he took very good care of him. The focus is on making sure Bubbles can live 30 or 40 more years, and it's making sure that he has a peaceful life. This is what our focus is on here, not about his past, but about his future. Right, Bubbles? You want this back? That's for you. Yep.